Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Han Solo. I'm Captain of the Millennium Falcon.
Bond.
James Bond.
Up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Superman.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Say hello to my little friend.
Here's Johnny.
And here we go.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the 21st installment of Snack and Chat. And as you can see, this one's a little bit different. You see, I actually already recorded this episode of Snack and Chat, but the audio and the footage was just all messed up, and I just couldn't release it. It was just all garbage. I couldn't do it. I couldn't release it. I'll definitely figure out what the problem is for next episode of Snack and Chat, but for this installment, for the 21st installment of Snack and Chat, I'm going to have to kind of do this in a sort of podcast form, I guess you can say, kind of taking it back to the Kid Critic Movie Podcast days. But just because I'm not doing Snack and Chat the usual way, I still got to tell you guys what my snack of the day is, and today we got Raisinets, which is a good thing because they're not really chewy, and you know my whole thing with chewing and talking at the same time, it can get pretty difficult. So this is a pretty good snack for this show. So with that said, we got a whole bunch of movie news to talk about, and even though I actually already talked about it, the lovely struggles of doing YouTube. But anyways, we got a whole bunch of movie news to talk about, and the first one is Luca. And what is Luca, you may ask? Well, Pixar recently revealed a new upcoming original film slated to release on June of 2021 called Luca, which centers around a boy who lives in the Italian Riviera and has a big unforgettable adventure with a newfound best friend who's a sea monster from another world below the ocean. The film will be directed by Enrico Casarosa, sorry if I butchered your name, if you are watching this, and who made the Pixar short La Luna. I believe it came out with Brave back in 2012, and even though I haven't seen Brave, I have seen La Luna, and it was a really nice short film. He's also the head of story for Pixar, or he's been the head of story for Pixar for the last 9 years, and worked on films such as Incredibles 2, Coco, The Good Dinosaur, Up, Ratatouille, and the first 2 Cars movies. Now, this is a really interesting idea from Pixar, and this also goes along with what Pixar has been doing lately, and that's diversifying their films, like a Coco or Pixar's latest short film, Bao, and which was fantastic, by the way, and even Soul, which we're yet to see. But I'm still really hyped to see it. And unlike live-action films, Luca, which is obviously an animated movie, you can work on it from home, so it's not going to have the problems that a live-action film would have right now with the whole COVID thing and all that. So it definitely has that benefit. And I'm sure, like most Pixar films, this one's probably going to pull out the heartstrings, and I am excited for it for, again, the obvious reason that this is a Pixar movie. So with that said, let's move on to the next topic, and that is Superman. So a clip was released of the upcoming Justice League Snyder Cut that revealed Superman in his black suit. And this clip was actually shown in one of the trailers for Justice League, obviously not revealing the Superman in his black suit. But part of the scene was in one of the trailers, what I believe Alfred says, he told me you would come. I believe that part was in one of the trailers, and obviously we never got to see it when Justice League were released. And while the clip is really cool, I'm kind of bummed I didn't get to see it when the actual movie came out, or when the Snyder Cut will eventually come out, because I think it would have been a really cool surprise. But I'm sure that there'll be other nice surprises in the movie other than Superman in his black suit. So with that said, let's move on to the next topic, and that is Tenet. And it was recently announced that Tenet is going to be released on August 26th internationally, but not in the US. However, as of today, Tenet is projected to release on September 3rd in select areas of the United States. Now, I understand this move by Warner Brothers because, they need to make the monies since it's been a little while since they've had a big blockbuster like Tenet to make them money. And now that they see that some of the COVID cases have gone down in other countries, they probably figured, well, it's time to strike. And they've gotten approval from countries like China to show the movie in their theaters. And of course, it could be risky for us moviegoers in the US because for all we know, the movie could get leaked from a different country, so we do have to be careful with that. But as far as do I think Tenet is going to stick to the release date? I mean, at this point, who knows? I mean, anything can happen. Everything changes every single second. However, one thing Tenet does have going for it, if it does turn out to be one of the first big films to release in theaters, is that most people are probably already going to be in a good mood and are already going to be enjoying their experience because it's one of the first movies to come out in theaters, and people are already having a good time because it's the first time they've been back in the movie theater in months. But we'll see what happens with Tenet if it sticks to its release date. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But let's definitely move on to the next topic, and that is Dune and Wonder Woman 1984. Now, Warner Brothers, announced that the first trailer for Denis Villeneuve's upcoming adaptation of the 1965 novel Dune will release its first trailer with the re-release of Inception when theaters reopen in mid-August, and the final trailer for Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 1984 will also come out with the re-release of Inception again in mid-August. So this is pretty exciting, especially with the obvious reason that these are highly anticipated films, but another exciting reason is that this shows that Warner Brothers is really locked in with having both Wonder Woman 1984 and Dune releasing this year if they're already starting the marketing for both Dune and continuing the marketing from where I left off for Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, of course, with the reopening of theaters, Tenet with its release dates, and Warner Brothers starting up their marketing for their films, the question then comes up of whether or not it's too soon for all this to happen. And in my opinion, even though I am excited for these movies, I do think it's a little risky for theaters to reopen in mid-August, especially in the United States. But you never know. I mean, for all we know, movie theaters might delay their opening date, so we'll see what happens. So with that said, let's move on to the next and final topic, which is AMC and Universal. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. AMC and Universal are back in the news, and this week it was announced that AMC Theaters and Universal have come to an agreement where Universal will have the option of putting their films on VODs after just 3 weekends, which is 17 days, of the film being in theaters. And AMC Theaters will receive 10% of each rental, of each VOD rental of whatever film is going to be put on VOD after just those 3 weekends. And Universal has the option of extending the time that one of their movies is in theaters if it is successful, like if Fast and the Furious is doing really good, then Universal might extend that 3 weekends to 4 weekends or 5 weekends or so on. I mean, I don't really know the specifics about how far Universal can go there. But, I mean, as I kind of projected, AMC couldn't stay mad at Universal forever since, Universal could be a big help in AMC to survive. But with that said, this is not a very good deal, especially on AMC's part. Now, yes, if a movie is successful, Universal can leave it in theaters a bit longer. Again, I don't know how much longer, but AMC would still make a good amount of money, especially if it's a highly anticipated film like Jurassic World or Fast and the Furious, which makes a lot of money in the first couple of weeks. But, I mean, would they make as much money with this deal in those first couple of weeks? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because maybe some people may just wait a little bit longer to see it on VOD, or maybe some people just never had the opportunity to see the movie by the time it comes out of theaters. So let's just say that Universal leaves a movie like Halloween Kills in theaters for 3 weekends, and people see that it's going to come out on VOD just 3 weekends after its initial release. Then some may go, well, why do I have to go to a movie theater and watch it when I can just sit on my sofa and watch the movie a couple weeks later? then the movie theater's attendance is going to go down, so less money on opening weekends, and AMC is not going to make as much money from their concession stands, which is where they make a lot of their money, along with some of the money that they make from the box office. But an even greater example is if an animated movie like Despicable Me is coming out, and a family of 4 waits for it to come out on VOD because they'd rather watch it at home rather in theaters where they have to pay a lot of money for snacks, they have to keep an eye on their kids, make sure they don't make any noise in the movie theater, so they'd rather watch it at home. Then movie theaters could be missing out on a lot of money there, and as somebody who loves going to the movies, this is definitely not good news for me. And again, it doesn't help theaters. And to go back to my example about the family of 4, AMC would definitely make more money off of that family going to the movies, because not only are they buying tickets, which again AMC also gets some money from, but they'd most likely go to the concession stand and get snacks, which tops the money that AMC would make off of that 10% of a $20 rental. Then I also watched a video which really broke the deal between AMC and Universal down, and they were basically talking about how other theater chains, like a Regal, who strongly opposes the move by AMC, but if other theater chains are to get on this deal with AMC, then Universal would start to lose money, because then other theater chains, would most likely get their own cut of the profits made off of the rentals, making Universal's cut smaller. So that's definitely not good for Universal. Again, if other theater chains team with AMC on this deal. But as far as today, I don't really think this is a very good deal. But yeah, definitely leave a comment down below of what you think of this AMC Universal deal. But not only of this topic, but of the rest of the topics that I ran down through today on this installment of Snack and Chat. And with that said, thank you for joining me on this installment of Snack and Chat. I know it was a little bit different, but we'll definitely get back to the normal routine next week or next weekend. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But with that said, don't forget to like and subscribe, because that is very important. And as always in every single video, look out for the next video or review. And peace.